Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and Happy New Year! It is now 2023, and we can leave that shithole 2022 year behind us and look towards the future. And here's hoping that 2023 is amazing for everyone. I'm doing something a little bit different this time. Normally, I usually don't really bring anything up of what the plan is for the channel, but I figured new year, new me, and new channel stuff. So let's, the idea of this video was to kind of give a quick update on basically things that are most likely going to go away from this year onward, things that are going to stay, things that I'm going to do more of, and things that I plan on doing that's new in 2023. And if you have any thoughts on any of this, definitely let me know in the comments below, because obviously I do the channel for you guys, not for really myself. And yeah, so let's just go from there. So starting with the things that I plan on filtering out or doing very, very sparingly is there's a couple things. So the first one is going to be unboxings. If you are a longtime fan of the channel, then you'll know that I used to do quite a few unboxings for pretty much anything, any Kickstarter, any game in general that was released. And then it dwindled to only Kickstarters or bigger games, and then now I pretty much don't do them at all. Mainly the reason for that is I just hate doing them. I really just don't see any value in an unboxing. That's not to say I won't do any, but it has to be a pretty major game that I feel it'll warrant an actual unboxing versus just seeing a bunch of minis or a bunch of... I just don't get it. It's like I kind of feel that unboxings come off as gloating, where it's like, ooh, look at the game that I have and that I get to play with, versus, I don't know, just I feel like a run through or a review is just going to be more valuable. So unboxings are pretty much almost always going to be something I won't do. The second thing that's going to be going away are my how to plays. I also used to do quite a few how to plays. Originally, the plan for every game I uploaded was going to have an unboxing, a how to play, a run through, and a discussion. Now I don't even really do how to plays unless very rarely it's not somewhere else on YouTube. So there's just 3 major how to play channels that are just going to do a way better job because it's their job to do it. John Gets Games, Watch It Played, and Gaming Rules. Like, those 3 guys just kill it in terms of tutorials and how to play. Ultimately, they'll do a better job of any game that I could. And yeah, so like I said, like with unboxings, unless it's a big game and for some reason those 3 haven't covered it, then I might do one. So that's pretty much it. Like, no real reason. I enjoy doing how to plays. I think that they're fun, but they're pretty stressful because if you miss one rule, I feel like it invalidates the entire how to play video. So it's like, well, maybe I just won't even touch them. So those are the 2 things that I feel will be going away from this point onward. No real loss there, I don't think. I think most people are coming for the reviews and all the other stuff. So let's move on to things that are continuing. Like things that I'm already doing, that I primarily do, that just, I'll continue to do. Obviously, full run-throughs. My channel was built on the idea that it's going to be a Let's Play-esque kind of channel. Full run-throughs, I had the idea back when I started this that, well, most people don't do complete run-throughs. They either do a portion or they just do reviews. And I was like, okay, well, I want to see the whole game. And I was also real big into like Oni Plays or Game Grumps or things like that, so that's kind of where I got the idea of doing that with board games. So that's where full run-throughs come in, and that's continuing. There's no way I would ever stop doing complete run-throughs. I know they don't do the best in terms of views or whatever, but I don't really care. This isn't my main job. So for anyone who just wants to watch us and the people that are on my channel as a group just have fun playing a game, then they're still going to be there. Obviously, discussions, which are what I call our reviews. In case you're new to the channel, I barely ever call them actual reviews, because to me that's what they are. They're discussions. It's everyone who was in the original full run-through we now discuss the game. Yeah, we review it. We talk about likes, dislikes, things that can be improved, things that are amazing, and we give it a rank on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolute dumpster fire and 10 being damn near perfect. But that's how I do it. But like the people who are doing the discussion with me have their own idea of what a 10 and what a 1 is. So I've never given them like a rule. I'm like, here's what I believe a 10 is, here's what I believe a 5 is, here's what I believe a 1 is. You can go off that or make up your own, and that's kind of where we go. I actually, out of everything on my channel, discussions are something that I pride the channel on, because I feel like, you know, multiple opinions are way better than just the one. If it was just me, well, then you kind of have to take my word for it. But there's been many, many times where either one of us was, you know, really liking a game and others didn't quite like it. Or as we're discussing, it kind of like tempers down. If everyone's like, oh my God, this game's a 9 out of 10, it's amazing. And someone's like, you know, I kind of have like this feeling about it. Like, I don't feel like it's going to have that long, you know, the longevity. And then we talk about that. And then it's like, yeah, actually, you know, right. I think with all that brought up, I think it's kind of down to a 7 or an 8. So that's something I very much love to do. And yeah, so discussions are 100% staying. The other thing that I will be continuing are campaign series. Like, I don't really, they're campaign games that are, I call them series on the channel, where it's just, there's so many, you know, long-term campaign-style games that are coming out, and I love doing these. One, I mean, not gonna lie, it gives me content for the channel, because it's just, I mean, I can just do one chapter or one session, you know, as a video and upload that on a week-by-week basis, or bi-weekly or monthly even. And I don't know, that's my favorite part of kind of like this channel being like the Let's Play of video games, is like, well, yeah, sometimes there's one-off video games that they play, and other times they're playing a long-term series, and that's something I've always enjoyed. So it's like, okay, if people want to see Gloomhaven or Madara or Oathsworn or whatever, they can come here and, you know, watch the playlist. They can be like, okay, well, that was awesome, I want to see what happens next. Or if they're doing their own campaign and they're like, oh, I want to see how they did. It's just, it's something that I just absolutely love to do. They're my favorite style of games to play, so therefore it's just great, I believe, for the channel. And of course, the campaign discussions are going to be there. Yeah, and that one, I mean, it's finding the time. The hardest part of the series is the fact that because I rely on so many people to play these with me, that's a commitment on their end, and because the people who are on this channel with me are adults, and none of us have this as a primary job, it's still a hobby, I have to, you know, conform to kind of their schedule. So it's finding a good balance of, so if you don't see like a particular series come on in quite some time, that's because normally how it works is like, okay, if you can come up once a month or once every 2 weeks, then we binge play one game. So then I have content for that, then we binge play the next, and kind of cycle it that way. Hopefully it's not immediately apparent on, you know, as you're watching them, but if you haven't seen a series, then that's why. The next thing that we will be continuing to do are my pure reviews, and I call them no run-through reviews. That's because at the time I just did, you know, these types of videos, that was, I wasn't doing run-throughs. And so the original concept of those videos were to be like, hey, this game was so bad, or we didn't like it, so we're just doing a review over it instead of trudging through, you know, a full run-through. Although sometimes we still do that. Sometimes we do a run-through and then the discussion is still negative. But I have changed the concept of those videos because I didn't want to upload a no run-through review and then everyone immediately know that we just didn't like it. So that's not the case. Sometimes if we don't do a review, it's to, I mean, multitude of reasons. It's an expansion. Like, it's not great for viewing, you know, it's like, you know, everyone's quiet. I just want to get, you know, our thoughts out on it. So those are really it. There's no hard and fast rule of what's going to be a review and what's not. Sometimes we play a run through and realize, oh, we don't really talk the whole time because the game's super thinky, or you know, it's there's barely any interaction. So then we just do a quick review. So yeah, so those are going to be continuing. That's just I mean, it kind of is the same vein as full run-throughs and discussions. There's no reason why I would just stop outright doing pure reviews. And then next is going to be top 10s. Top 10s, top 5s, the top 100, top just lists overall, I think, will, of course, be continuing. They're absolutely fun to make. I have a running actual list of great ideas for top 10s. Not going to lie, I mean, Dice Tower is really good about coming up with really obscure ones, so it's like, hey, that's a good idea. But even the community who I've talked to on my channel, they've come up with good ideas, so it's like, oh, that'd be a great top 10 list. Those are absolutely just fun to do. I'm more than willing to take suggestions on stuff like that because lists are just fun to make. The top 5s are, of course, if the top 5 lists are really if I can't come up with 10, if it's a very niche idea. For example, I plan on doing alphabet, going A through Z, but finding 10 games of certain letters is hard, finding 5 is easier. So I don't like to make top 10 lists if I can't get an adequate number. I don't want to just make 10 and be like, oh yeah, there's your top 10. 4 of these wouldn't actually be on here, but I had to stretch it. I don't want to do that. So doing top 10s and top 5s are so much fun. So I plan on getting more people involved in that. Right now it's mainly either myself or primarily it's me and Brad, who you see doing the top 100 and stuff. I have ideas to get more of the consistent people you see on the channel involved with stuff like that. So that's kind of a little bit of a change to the top 10s, but those are still there. So those are all the stuff that will be continuing. Things that I will be doing more of. First one is going to be rankings. I have done a few rankings lists, primarily being like the Marvel Champions and Marvel Villains. And the biggest one so far has been the Twilight Imperium faction. That was a tier list. So it's going to be one or the other. Like if it's, I can do a tier list, S through F, or an actual numerical one, which is kind of like a top 10, but it's not so isolated. Like for the Marvel Champions ones, we rank them, from, our least favorite to our most favorite based off of just what happens to be out in that kind of cycle. And even then, like the last Marvel Champions ranking we did, none of them were bad. So it's not like, oh, here's this is out of these 10, here's my 10th least favorite, but it's still good, and we go up from there. Ideally, what I wish I had done is I've done rankings for the Dice Throne heroes and the BattleCon heroes, and those would be probably really good tier lists to make. I might actually end up doing that. I'd have to make them because they're probably not out there. Dice Throne might be. BattleCon might be a little bit harder. But that's also something that I can easily just do. So there's definitely going to be more of those. I have a running list of good rankings to do for a variety of things. There's so much out there. The biggest one, for just so you guys know, that I will aim to do at least in 2023 is the Cosmic Encounter Aliens. That will be a tier list. And originally it was going to be all of them in one massive tier list, but that's a 600-hour video. So it's broken up into beginning, beginner, intermediate, and advanced aliens, which is still going to take some time, but I do have someone in mind to do that. So rankings will be something that I feel like we'll be doing more of. Next will also be solo run-throughs and discussions. As my job has changed, I have a lot more time, but it's time that other people are not available. So I used to only do solo run-throughs if it was a variant, but I have a bunch of ideas for actual solo videos. Obviously that goes hand in hand with solo discussions, because if it has a variant or there's a solo aspect to the game, I do want to do a review over the solo variant. But there are things that I have in mind specifically to do that are like solo only games and solo playthroughs of kind of like a small series, but only with me. So solo stuff will be I'll be doing a lot more of than I normally do, because I just have the time to now do it. Another thing I'll be doing a lot more of are tournaments. The past couple tournaments that I've done has been for Dice Throne, which went on a little bit too long, and BattleCon, which I don't feel like went on. I don't think it went on too long. I think it was a really good balance, but that is such a tactile head-to-head game that it felt like we're like, okay, we need to get this over with because we're getting really intense. But I have a bunch of ideas for more tournaments of getting that involved. Not quite so much of like a multiplayer tournament, so like the tournament ideas are still kind of head-to-head games, but maybe if I can that would be like a tournament series where it's like, okay, now we're going to play this game, and there's multiple people involved, and then we kind of do a bracket that way. Similar to what you might see at like a Magic tournament, but that's not, the tournament idea is more head-to-head stuff of various games where you can pull a bunch of different factions and make a bracket out of it, similar to BattleCon or Dice Throne. Might do another BattleCon tournament. There were a bunch of people in that we didn't even touch. I think there's 90 heroes and we got 30 of them. So, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But definitely a lot more tournaments to be done, I think, because they're also fun to do. And then something else I will be doing more of is replacing old channel videos. If you're not aware, my channel used to be called Fat Nasty Nerd Run Through. I'm not going to give like the whole backstory on that, but essentially I went through a rebranding a few years back, and I've been slowly getting games played that I had done years ago under that name, where the channel wasn't quite as professional. It was definitely, product of its time back in, in 2016, where a lot more things were kind of, where YouTube was the Wild West of the internet. So I'm in the process of slowly getting games or replaying games to get them, back up to speed and doing better reviews. And because back in the day, my videos used to be solely, the run through and the discussion were one video, or I didn't have as much experience in actually running the channel or playing a bunch of games. So now, just basically re-uploading those and removing the old ones to the new Board Games Unlocked name. So that'll be coming. So if you start seeing older games being done, know that it's most likely a video I had done years ago that just needs to be updated. All right, and those are things that I'll be doing more of. And here's the new stuff that I plan on doing in 2023 and forward. The first one is digital run-throughs, and not so much Tabletop Simulator or anything like that. I don't quite like the idea, especially of doing like demos or, previews of games on that. It's just something that I don't find worthy of. I don't find value in doing a digital game on Tabletop Simulator. Personally, I like the physical stuff, because for me, if I was going to play them on, Tabletop Simulator, it's like, well, I can just play video games. The idea for this was, I guess, similar in that concept, but with, like, Gloomhaven. Like, I feel like Gloomhaven might be a fun one, so maybe I just kind of counteracted what I just said. But maybe digital run-throughs could be fun, doing, like, things like Root or Gloomhaven. Basically, Steam games, because that makes it a video game. I don't know why I just had an issue with Tabletop Simulator, but I don't know. That's just kind of something I didn't even think of. I was thinking more like stuff that's on Steam. And that might be fun. This is a running idea. This one isn't set in stone on if I'm going to do that, because I don't know. This is a board game only channel, so it's like playing board games on PC. I feel like kind of defeats the purpose. But if that's something you guys want to see, if you guys want to see, Steam on the Gloomhaven on Steam, played, if you want to see Root or Seven Wonders, or if you want to see Tabletop Simulator stuff, then I'll be more than happy to oblige. But the biggest thing that I will be doing that's new in 2023 is streaming. I'm going to actively try to get streaming done on the channel. This is mainly to get more people involved. I think it could be really fun for me to do like a solo playthrough or a campaign series or just a regular top 10 and get, community interaction throughout. I have a really cool idea to start with for streaming, and I think it could be fun just for the fact of this game that I have in mind could do really well with interaction. But yeah, so I still need to get all the equipment and still work on even testing that and making sure I can get it done. But that could be something fun, along with, instead of just waiting for me to upload something, you can actively see I'll be streaming at a certain time, which would allow others to join in and get involved. And I think, because I don't want to do Twitch or I don't want to do anything like that, it would be YouTube streaming, because I can at least still set it, and that's the primary focus, is just to do fun games that I can interact with people who are watching the channel or new to the channel or who have been a fan of the channel in real time, instead of seeing a comment and replying to it later. But yeah, so that's the stuff that's going away, continuing, doing more of, and new in 2023. As always, if any of this stuff you have any ideas for, if you have thoughts on it, if you want to see other aspects, if you want to see very specific games or very specific lists, then definitely let me know for sure. I believe my email is available on my channel, so you can always email me ideas. Another idea I had, and this is kind of in terms for the full run-throughs or reviews, is I get requests on specific games that I don't have, or that I don't have the ability to go get. If that's something you want to see, email me, and maybe if you have the copy of the game, we can work something out of where you send it to me, we do a run-through discussion for it, and then I send it back, and we can cover, shipping one way or the other, or whatever we want to do. That can obviously be discussed. But that's kind of what I do for prototypes. If a company sends me a review and they're like, hey, can you send it on to the next person? It's like, sure. I have absolutely no problem, sending, obviously, the game back. And that's just an idea I had, because I technically do have a Patreon, but again, I don't do this channel for any type of income or money. It's purely a hobby, and I love doing it. I think it's a blast. Get to play, mostly great games, and then just, arbitrarily talk and give a fake number to what I think of the actual game. And yeah, of course, there's still going to be negative reviews, negative stuff, because I feel like as a reviewer or a run-througher, negative reviews are just as good as positive ones, as long as they're done correctly. But yeah, so that's kind of an idea of how to get, if you have a specific game you want me to do, then that wouldn't be within my wheelhouse of normally just going and buying myself, then that's something we can work out. Yeah, so like I said, on any of this stuff, if you have any thoughts, things you'd like to see that wasn't on this list, ideas of, campaigns or top 10s or tournaments or rankings or any of that stuff, definitely just let me know in the comments, or again, email me, because I do the channel for everyone else. Like, it's not really done for me. I can play these games without recording it. So it's just a really fun thing that I love to do. All right, I think I've talked long enough. So again, have a wonderful new year, and a wonderful year overall. And yeah, so again, let me know what you think. And also, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.